morning, this is Tom with the Tractor Rescue Ranch. It is January 8th and it is a bitter cold morning this morning. We had 20 degrees below zero. Pretty cold, but I had the old blue, this old pickup plugged in and started right up for me. Anyway, I got Mary with me today. We are off on a grand adventure. Yesterday I was thumbing through the Facebook want ads and I ran across an old antique sawmill, something I've wanted my whole life, and so I got a hold of the guy and made a deal. So we are headed to start hauling it home. It is over in Idaho. It's actually about a 3-hour drive from where we live, so it's quite a trip. I'm anticipating probably more than one load to get it home, but if we get lucky it might come home in one load. Anyway, looking forward to rebuilding and restoring this old sawmill. The guy said that it's complete. It says all the parts are there. I guess looking at the picture, somebody has tore it apart and stacked it in a big stack, and it looks like it's been sitting quite a few years that way. So this is going to be a restoration job. When I was a little kid, my father did this same thing. He bought an old sawmill, and I didn't work with him on it. I was too young, but I spent a lot of hours out there as Dad rebuilt that old circular saw. And when I was a real young kid, I remember my folks telling me a story about how I just had to be out there with Dad while he was working on the sawmill, and Dad finally brought me in the house one day and told Mom that I was driving him buggy out there as he was trying to work on the sawmill, and I overheard that conversation, and so that was my catchphrase. Whenever Dad was out working on the sawmill, I'd tell my Mom that I wanted to go drive Dad's buggy. So these old sawmills go deep in my blood. Dad had that sawmill as I was a kid growing up, and I remember working with him, pulling some boards off it when I got a little bigger, as he was milling. Remember pulling some boards off of it. So this is kind of a childhood love and a fulfillment coming together. I'm sure appreciative of the individual with this old mill that decided to pull it apart and set it aside so that it can be restored and saved from the scrapyard. Okay, we're out in the central Idaho desert here. That's those mountains out in the distance is the Limhi Range, and then straight ahead of us here is the edge of the Lost River Range. And there's a little bit of snow out here on the desert, but not a whole lot. This is interesting country. You can see all the lava flows, the old lava flows from years gone by. And this is out in the National Idaho Laboratory country. So anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully you can stick with me and watch this whole adventure.